prompts within the worksheet itself that will help guide you in developing your 1 or 2 sentence mission statement.
Set long-term and short-term goals. Do you have direction, drive, desire, and a dream? If so, do you have a reasonable idea of how to go about meeting your goal? Parenthesis, S, end parentheses. Goal setting. Goal setting is the identification of long-term and short-term goals. When you know what you want, you can draw a circle around your destination and chart the best course to get there. By mapping out your goals, you will see where to focus your attention in order to fulfill your dreams. How goal setting works. When setting goals, categorize them based on the amount of time it takes to accomplish them. An example of a short-term goal is to get through an exam successfully. Another short-term goal is to graduate from beauty and wellness school. Short-term goals can usually be accomplished in a year or less. Long-term goals are measured in larger increments of time, such as 2, 5, or 10 years, or even longer. An example of a long-term goal is becoming a spa owner in 5 years. Once you have organized your thoughts, create 2 columns labeled short-term and long-term. List your goals in the corresponding column. Then, break up your goals into smaller pieces so they don't seem out of sight or overwhelming. For example, if you are a part-time beauty and wellness student, one of your long-term goals should be to become a licensed beauty professional. At first, getting this license might seem to require an overwhelming amount of time and effort. However, when larger aspirations are divided into short-term goals, such as going to class on time, completing homework assignments, and mastering techniques, you will find that accomplishing each short-term goal progressively leads to the accomplishment of the larger goal. Remember to set feasible goals, create a plan of action, and revisit the plan often. While adjusting goals and action plans may be necessary from time to time, successful people know that focusing on their goals will move them toward additional successes. Figures 1-5 and figure 1-6, in parenthesis. Figure 1-5. Break down goals, as in this example of short-term goal tracking. Figure 1-6. Photocopy this template and fill in your own goals.
What are SMART goals, fast? These are goals that are specific. Ask yourself, what specifically do I want to accomplish and why? Is there anything stopping me from achieving this goal? Measurable. Determine how you measure and track your goal, as well as how you will know you've achieved it. Achievable. Write down the logical and necessary steps toward achieving your goal. Realistic. Is this goal realistic? Is this the right time? Do I have the right resources to achieve this goal? Timely. Finally, determine how long it will take to fully achieve your goal. specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. SMART. Get it? Let me give you an example of how SMART goals work. Perhaps when it comes to your dream career, you wrote that you wanted to make a lot of money. A great goal, but it's not yet SMART. If it were specific, you may say, I want to make $100,000 a year. Perfect. Now ask yourself, why do you want to accomplish this goal? And whether or not something is stopping you. The answer to those questions may have you adjust your goal slightly. Next, is it measurable? Write down how you will track it and when you will know that you achieved it. Is it achievable? Most goals are achievable with the right amount of work. But be sure to write down how this goal is going to be met and what the logical steps are. What will you need to do and produce every week to make six figures? Knowing that gives you the power to achieve it. Moving on. Is it realistic? If you are currently making only $30,000, then jumping to six figures in 1 year may be setting yourself up for disappointment. Again, based on this answer, you may need to adjust the goal. Lastly, is it timely? How long will it take you to achieve this goal? You could keep six figures as your goal and realize that it may take you 2 to 5 years to reach it. That's fine. Just be sure to acknowledge how long before you can anticipate achieving the goal. Regardless of your specific goal, the important thing is that you write down a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely.
Demonstrate effective time management. Effectively managing your time will help you reach your goals more quickly. Here are some ways you can be more effective at time management. Learn to prioritize. Prioritize by ordering tasks on your to-do list from most important to least important. When designing your time management system, make sure it will work for you. For example, if you are a person who needs a fair amount of flexibility, schedule some blocks of unstructured time. Never take on more than you can handle. Learn to say no firmly but kindly, and mean it. It will be easier to complete tasks if activities are limited. Learn problem-solving techniques that will save you time and needless frustration. Give yourself some downtime whenever you are frustrated, overwhelmed, worried, or feeling guilty. You lose valuable time and energy when you are in a negative state of mind. Unfortunately, there may be situations where you cannot get up and walk away. To handle these difficult times, try practicing the technique of deep breathing. Fill your lungs as much as you can and exhale slowly. After about 5 to 10 breaths, you will usually find that you have calmed down and your inner balance has been restored. Have a notepad, organizer, tablet, or other digital application accessible at all times. Make daily, weekly, and monthly schedules that show exam times, study sessions, and any other regular commitments. Plan leisure time around these commitments rather than the other way around. Figure 1-7, in parenthesis. Identify times during the day when you are energetic and times when you want or need to relax. Plan your schedule accordingly. Reward yourself with a special treat or activity for work done well and efficient time management. Do not neglect physical activity. Remember that exercise and recreation stimulate clear thinking. Figure 1-8, in parenthesis. Schedule at least one block of free time each day. This will be your hedge against events that happen unexpectedly, such as car trouble, childcare problems, helping a friend in need, or other unforeseen circumstances. Understand the value of to-do lists for the day and the week. These lists help prioritize tasks and activities, a key element to organizing time efficiently. Make effective time management a habit. could not find the text to read. CH1 Discuss Making Time. For this assignment, you will need to have completed the time management activity located in your learning path. 1. Complete the time management activity in your learning path if you have not done so already. Determine how much time you spend in one day on email. If you do not typically use email, then determine how much time you spend texting in one day. 2. Share your estimated time using email or texting with your class. Compare your total time with those of your classmates. Are you surprised at the totals? Is there quite a range? 3. For 1 week, try to avoid using your phone or tablet for 1 hour at the start of each day. Did you find that you were more productive and got items accomplished on your to-do list? With this newfound knowledge, are there any changes you can make to better your time management? Share your findings with your classmates and see if they have similar ideas. Employ successful learning tools. Having a successful career as a beauty professional begins by employing key learning tools while you are in school. To realize the greatest benefits education can provide, commit yourself to do the following. Attend all classes. Arrive for class early. Have all necessary materials ready. Listen attentively to your instructor. Take notes. Highlight important points. Pay close attention during summary and review sessions. When something is not clear, ask for clarification. If you are still unsure, ask again for assistance. Everyone learns in their own personal and unique ways. Your study skills should use those methods or tools that will help you absorb and retain new information. Learning about all the study skills available will help you find what works best for you and make valuable use of your time. Repetition. Whether you repeat information in your head, say it out loud, write it down, or practice it hands-on, repetition helps your short-term memory secure a firmer grasp on the information, making it easier to retrieve when you need it. Organization. Organization, organization, can be used to process new information for both short-term and long-term memory use. If a new topic seems particularly overwhelming, categorize the information into smaller segments. For example, rather than trying to learn about all the layers of skin at once, study one skin division at a time. Mnemonics. A mnemonic, mnemonic, is a device that helps you remember or recall information. It can be a word association, acronym, song or rhyme, or any other form of memory trigger that helps you to recall information. Word associations. To promote better long-term memory, try to associate new information with prior knowledge by using word association techniques. For example, the outermost layer of the epidermis is the stratum corneum. It is also known as the horny layer because it consists of tightly packed cells that are similar to an animal's horn or hoof. The outer cells are continually shed and replaced with new cells from the underlying layers of the epidermis. In this example, corn and corneum rhymes with horn, providing an easy way to remember both technical and alternate terminology. Using word associations can be helpful for remembering most information. However, be sure to create associations that mean something to you. Meaningful associations will assist you in actually learning the material and make it easier for you to retrieve it from your long-term memory when you need it. Acronyms. You can create an acronym by using the first letters in a series of words. For example, the bones of the skull can be remembered using the phrase chest of, parietal, ethmoid, sphenoid, temporal, occipital, and frontal figure 1-9. In parenthesis, another acronym covers the functions of the skin with the word shapes, sensation, heat regulation, absorption, protection, excretion, and secretion. Shapes is a particularly good acronym because the skin also gives shape to the body. Songs or rhymes. Songs or rhymes do not have to be complicated. Something as simple as keep the air and the hair moving when blow drying to prevent burning the client's scalp or rock and roll rodding creates a spiral perm to illustrate a rodding technique can be an effective reminder during application procedures. Visual study skills. For some, the need to visually lay out thoughts, plans, and ideas is key to retaining information. For these learners, the more visual study skills of mind mapping and note-taking can be effective learning tools. Mind mapping. Mind mapping, MYNDMAPing, is a method you can use to create a visual representation of your thoughts, ideas, or class notes figure 1-10, in parenthesis. Here are some basic guidelines for mind mapping a topic. Write the main topic or problem in the center of a piece of paper. Think about the topic and allow your ideas to flow. Write down keywords or ideas that come to mind. Use lines to connect the keywords to the main topic. Expand on the keywords by creating new connections to additional thoughts or information. Use colors and or symbols to highlight important information. Note-taking. Note-taking is a valuable skill to develop for studying and for working in the business world. Effective note-takers listen carefully and pay attention to verbal cues that alert them to important information. When taking notes, listen and watch for these cues. The speaker emphasizes words or phrases. You hear a directive, such as you need to know or you might want to remember. The speaker uses definitive words, such as main or first, that provide the importance or the order of something. If it gets written on the board, it is usually important. Although most of us develop our own way of taking notes, here are some general tips to get you started. Remember, you need to take notes in a way that makes sense to you and that will help you make the most of the process. Develop or select a note-taking template that works best for the way you like to organize new information. Date and number the note pages for easier organization when you need to review them. Listen carefully to lesson introductions and summaries. Use keywords or phrases to identify main points. Use complete and accurate sentences when the instructor says, You need to know, or this is important, or when technical definitions are used. Use marks or symbols to emphasize important words, definitions, and so on. Use symbols, pictures, and diagrams to create visual reminders or to illustrate a concept. Use colored pens or highlighters to emphasize important points. Establishing good study habits. If you find studying overwhelming, focus on small tasks, one at a time. For example, instead of trying to study for 3 hours at a time, set the bar lower by studying in smaller chunks of time. If your mind tends to wander in class, try writing down keywords or phrases as your instructor discusses them. Anytime you lose focus, do not hesitate to stay after class and ask questions based on your notes. Another study tip is to find other students who are helpful and supportive. Studying in groups can bring positive results for everyone, including improved study skills and a better understanding of the material. Figure 1-11, in parenthesis. Part of developing good study habits is knowing where, when, and how to study. Where. Establish a comfortable, quiet place to study without interruptions. Have everything you need, books, pens, paper, proper lighting, prior to studying. Remain as alert as possible by sitting upright. Reclining will make you sleepy. When. Start out by estimating how much study time you need. Study when you feel most energetic and motivated. Practice effective time management by studying during blocks of time that would otherwise be wasted, such as while you are waiting in the doctor's office or taking a bus across town. How? Study just one section of a chapter at a time and review key points.